Sometimes you gotta do the unexpected. Things that just aren't your forte, your expertise. But if you don't step outside your boundaries, you may never know what you're missing.
Hey friends, I'm Pragmatik and I like to talk about video games. And today, I want to talk about Deja Vu, the point-and-click adventure game for NES. Now, I'm not really one for point-and-click adventure games, but I couldn't help but give this one a try.
While Deja Vu originally debuted on the Macintosh, the game was ported to several consoles, including the NES. This port also came with upscaled graphics and color, making for an experience that really pops. Deja Vu starts out as any good game should, with the protagonist waking up in a bathroom stall with no memory of how he got there or even who he is. I'll go ahead and tell you that his name is Ace Harding, which isn't much of a spoiler as you can find it out in the first few minutes. Plus it's literally on your tombstone if you get a game over. Anyone familiar with the point-and-click format might be familiar with this one. You've got your standard selection of actions you can perform, such as examine, open, speak, take, hit, close, use, and move. Got a feeling I'm going to be using that one a lot. These actions will be what you use to feel around the area, taking all kinds of items and examining them to learn more about them, as well as gaining plot points and addresses to other locations. It's all essential to discover the mystery of your sudden amnesia, and how you've become tangled up in a bigger mystery of being framed for a murder you're fairly sure you didn't commit. In the first few minutes, you'll be opening your trench coat, grabbing your gun, and examining each item for any clue you can find. It's a good taste of things to come. Ace will have to use what he finds to navigate through the building he's in to the streets below, with each room along the way possessing lots of clues, like keys, items to combine and use, and, a dead body. Deja Vu is pretty good about letting the player know something might be in the room with a not-so-subtle hint of telling them. Once you're out of the first building, you'll be at the mercy of other obstacles, such as random muggers, people with information or lack thereof, and the occasional instant death situation. Death might be a pretty common penalty if you're not careful. Ace seems to have attracted some shady characters in his blurry past, and it's up to you how to handle each situation. I'd recommend caution. Where you can try to be confrontational, remember that death is always a possibility, and going too far will probably get the police involved. So in short, your gun should be your last option. It seems like this lady knows me, and apparently she has something for me? I don't like the looks of this. I'm just gonna... Pull out the Glocko, you get the Socko. Oh man, I actually hit this lady. Gotta appreciate the game for just showing me her knocked out form just on the pavement over there. I'm just gonna... Okay, she did have a gun, so she was either gonna pump me full of lead or give me some makeup tips.
So in the first 20 minutes of the game, I don't know who I am, I find a dead body, I die in a car explosion, which the game tells me is the oldest trick in the book, I fight a lady I don't even know. It all sounds like a good start to me. And it's the smoothness of the game that makes it all so seamless.
The biggest thing that deters me from even picking up a game like this is how slow I think the pacing is. But for Deja Vu, it's nothing to be concerned about. Navigating the menus is pretty easy since it's all laid out in one menu for you. Examining, picking up things, and using things on other things are all pretty easy. The item detection is great, and even selecting things through the menu is pretty simple as the cursor has a feature that auto-sticks to what it's assuming you're moving to. The writing for Ace is pretty fantastic too. He's got that dry sense of humor that really reflects the time era he's supposed to represent, being the 40s. Even seeing a dead body doesn't do much to shake our confused protagonist. You'll have moments where Ace will get parts of his memory back or something will cause it to jog a bit. It's a good little touch that lets you know that you're going in the right direction. The music will shift around a lot too when leaving from one area to the next, which I really like. None of the music is overbearing and really flows with that 40s noir aesthetic the game is trying to convey. The music constantly changing to a new piece every few screens helps to keep it all fresh and active. Not so much that you're playing from one level to the next. The game also features the use of money. You get $20 bills, but those act more towards items and not actual currency. No, the money I'm referring to comes in the form of coins, or rather 25-cent quarters. Money is mostly used to buy ammo, pay taxi fare, and maybe pay off a mugger you're not sure you want to deal with. If you're running low, you can always gamble it back at a nearby casino, which usually results in you getting some money back. Coins equal travel in this game, so taking all your money is pretty game breaking. Even if you do run out of funds, you can always find an extra quarter in a nearby machine, keeping in mind that running out of money in a different part of the game could almost break the game, as there isn't much of a way to get the money back, so always make sure you're stocked up.
There's only so much that I can nitpick with this game. As far as point-and-click adventures go, this one impresses me on every level.
Another slight drawback is that some of the sequences in this game are timed. The game does tell you that you need to do something about your memory loss, but not exactly what. The urgency of this is fun, but the timed aspect is not. In the game's defense, it will usually take the player back to a point where they have enough time to deal with the time sequence rather than just leaving you in a tough position. The problems this game has are so feeble in comparison with all it does right. I was absolutely hooked with the sheer presentation of this game. The music, art style, and even how smoothly the game navigates all make it such a good experience. The story itself is pretty gripping, making you crave more info about what Ace just got himself into, which is exactly what the game is aiming for. Point-and-click games are one of the biggest games I stray away from, due to a lot of them being a little overly complicated and hard to figure out what it is you're doing. With Deja Vu, it's simply not the case. Sure, there are a few moments where you're not exactly sure what the answer might be, but that isn't a flaw of a point-and-click game. Making a point-and-click game that makes the whole experience a little too obscure is a problem, and I feel Deja Vu acknowledges that. You won't use every item in your inventory, and that's a good thing. It doesn't become too much, and simply getting used to the items that are useless makes for a bit of challenge and a bit of fun. I don't even need this gum, I'm just gonna eat it. Some items you do need, and some items you need for yourself. But it's up to you to be smart enough to, not eat the random pills you just made without knowing what they do, or, using your gun on yourself, which is an option, I promise. What it all boils down to is that Deja Vu is loaded with tension, needing you to make the next move to the best of your abilities. Try to keep ahead of the game, and be sparing with your trust. More likely than not, most everyone is out to kill you. Except for this hobo, he's a pretty swell guy. And like I said before, your gun should always be your last option. Never think of it as a quick solution. This is what gets me pumped about this experience, having to figure out what to do with what you have, which is the point of a point-and-click adventure, but seldom are there games that are as clear-cut and logical as Deja Vu. At the same time, I like how the simple solution isn't always the right answer. Like downing the seltzer might help your head, but as it turns out, it's not enough to solve your underlying problem with Ace. That's what you gotta find out yourself, and you've only got so long to do it. Which brings out Deja Vu's greatest plus: don't fear failure. With a game like this, you're bound to make a wrong decision here or there. Heck, I know I couldn't take this guy in a fight, but I should have thought to give him what he wanted instead of taking the easy route and trying to use my gun. See what I did there? Your last solution: don't shoot people. Deja Vu isn't as long as your typical point and click, so this game makes for a really fun afternoon of solving the puzzles, cracking the mystery, and maybe, just maybe, seeing Ace through to the end of the day. Happy hunting, and thanks for watching. Was Deja Vu a good game to dip my toes into, or are there much better point-and-click adventures to get immersed in? Let me know down in the comments, and consider subscribing and hitting that bell if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching, and keep it practical.